All right, boys and girls, today for writing time, you're going to be working on ways to make your story fun to read, just like we've been doing in class and yesterday on our e-learning day. So yesterday you worked on picturing more and then adding more to your story. And then before that, you worked on using those transition words, like thinking about the things that happened next and then and last. And today for our writing time, we're going to be thinking about giving your story a title. And so I have another one of my favorite stories here that has a great title to help us think about what's happening in this story. This story is called Tacky in Trouble. So let me get this a little bit bigger here. So we've got another one of our stories about Tacky the penguin, and this time it says Tacky in Trouble. So I'm going to read this to you, and you can think about why that title is so important to this story. As Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect sang Sunrise on the Iceberg, the sun rose on the iceberg, and they felt very much in charge. "What's happening?" blared Tacky the penguin, greeting each of his companions with a hearty slap on the back. After breakfast, the penguins went about their morning activities. Whether they were ice block building, napkin folding, feather combing, or ballroom dancing, Tacky was the odd bird. Then it was nap time. Nap time for all, that is, but Tacky. "What a great day for surfing," he cried. "Would that be fun or what?" "That would be what," said Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect. "Go surfing if you must, but please do it quietly." So Tacky took off alone and coasted over the waters. Suddenly the wind came up, filling his shirt like a sail, and he found himself blowing full speed ahead out to sea. He loved the spray on his beak and the thrill of the ride. Starting to see why Tacky might be in trouble. On he sailed, on and on, through sunny days and starlit nights. By the time he finally reached the land, he was standing on his tippy webs on an ice cube. With his little heart beating in excitement, Tacky waddled ashore, ready for an adventure. After being greeted by the strangest penguins he had ever seen, he came upon a very large, nice gray rock. How nice, he thought. He had lots of rocks at home. Funny, thought Tacky, this rock is warm. The rocks he knew were cold, and it's a little squishy. The rocks he knew were hard, sort of hairy. Hairy? He couldn't remember any hairy rocks back on the iceberg. Tacky never could sit still for long, so he did a little rock-hopping dance he'd always enjoyed doing at home. "I don't need shoes and I don't need socks, just my mellow yellow feet for hopping on the rocks. Hey! I don't need shoes and I don't need socks, just my mellow yellow feet for hopping on the rocks. I don't need..." Suddenly the rock rose up, and a voice louder than Tacky had ever heard boomed, "Something is tickling my back!" And before Tacky could ask, "What's happening?" the rock, whose name happened to be Rocky, grabbed him, and they were crashing through the jungle. Tacky loved adventures, but was this fun or what? He wasn't sure. Finally, Rocky came to a gray clearing and plunked Tacky down and bellowed, "Flowers for my table!" While Tacky was puzzled, Rocky was overjoyed, for she had taken one look at Tacky's shirt and was convinced she had brought home the most beautiful bunch of flowers in the world. "Yes, indeedy, just what I needed to brighten up this dreary old place. Let's see, I'll need a wide vase, and it's a gorgeous bunch of flowers, but pretty thick around the stem area." After choosing her whitest vase, Rocky plopped Tacky in, and he looked around, and the table was set for dinner with ketchup and lemon pie and grape punch and gravy and mustard and marmalade and peanut butter and lots of other good things. And Rocky galumphed gleefully around the table, singing, "Flowers make all the difference, flowers make all the difference." "I'm not a bunch of flowers," said Tacky. "Say what?" Rocky trumpeted. "Of course you're a bunch of flowers. Don't be silly." She sniffed Tacky. "You smell lovely, too." "Thank you," said Tacky, "but I'm not a bunch of flowers. I'm a penguin." Rocky eyed Tacky suspiciously. What's a penguin? Some sort of weird plant? No, offered Tacky. It's a bird. A bird? Snorted Rocky. What a hoot! You're not like any bird I've ever seen. Tacky felt his neck feathers prickle uncomfortably. I really, honestly, truly am a penguin, he repeated. But Rocky did not want to hear this. She wanted flowers. She needed those flowers, and her dull gray home needed those flowers. If you're a penguin, prove it, Rocky demanded. And then she reached out and whoosh, she snatched Tacky's shirt. At least I'm keeping the pretty blossoms, no matter what. Well, unless you can convince me that you're a penguin. Tacky knew he was in trouble now. His shirt was his sail, and without his shirt, how would he get home? And would he ever see goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect? Hurry up now, I'm hungry, and I don't have all day, snapped Rocky. Prove you're a penguin. Do something penguinish. Tacky thought very hard. He just had to show her. Oh, yes, he remembered. Penguins march. And he began 1, 2, 3, stepped in the ketchup bowl, and without knowing it, continued marching over the table. 4, 5, 17, 100. What else? Asked Rocky. Penguin's belly slide. Tacky got a running start and skidded across the lemon pie and swished in swirls over the tablecloth. Where was that lemony smell coming from? Go on, ordered Rocky. Penguins dive. And Tacky took a bounding leap and did a splashy cannonball into the pitcher of grape punch. Refreshing. More confused than ever, Rocky asked. And keep going? What else? What else could a penguin do? Then he remembered what had gotten him into this situation in the first place, and he said, penguins are excellent hoppers. And bravely tilting his beak back in his best proper hopping form, he hopped in the gravy, he hopped on the cloth, he hopped in the mustard and hopped on the cloth, and he hopped in the marmalade and hopped on the cloth, and he hopped in the peanut butter and stopped. Then he waddled stickily over to Rocky. See, he shrugged, I am a penguin. And Rocky looked at her red and yellow and purple and brown and gold and orange and tan tablecloth and bellowed, What have you done to my tablecloth? Tacky froze. He'd been having fun doing penguin things, and he hadn't even realized that he'd made a mess. Uh-oh, he thought, I'm stuck here forever. I'll never get home to my iceberg. My tablecloth, hooted Rocky. I love it. I simply love it. Look at those colors. They're brilliant. They're beautiful and so much prettier than your blossoms. No offense. Here you go, you wonderful, odd, whatever you are. And with that, she picked up Tacky's shirt and flipped him into it. And she also threw him a hot dog, a cookie, and 3 kisses. Thank you, she trumpeted as Tacky waved goodbye and set out for water's edge. And he left on a log thinking, I didn't know ice blocks came in brown. And his shirt caught the wind and he set sail. Meanwhile, back on the iceberg, goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect were singing Sunrise on the iceberg. And the sun rose, but they didn't feel it change. They didn't feel in charge. Life just hadn't been the same without Tacky. Everything was so orderly, and they weren't tired of patting each other on the back and whispered, What is happening? Nothing was happening. And then they saw a speck in the distance. Could it be? As the speck came closer and closer, they could see it was Tacky. Goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect. Hug Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a nice bird to have around. And many miles away, an elephant sat by her colorful tablecloth and thought the same thing. So for today, for your writing time, you're going to work on organizing a writing that you worked on for e-learning yesterday. You might revise a writing that you worked on for e-learning yesterday. That means fix some things or change it up. We might create a new writing for today. But today for writing time, I want you to make sure that your book has a title, just like a great one like Tacky in Trouble.